Labos everywhere.
Living with COVID doesn't mean ignoring COVID, right?
Quebec is back to normal, almost. Nearly all COVID-19 restrictions are lifted in the province except for mask wearing. Bars, restaurants, and entertainment venues can now operate at 100% capacity. Dancing, karaoke is permitted, and vaccine passports are no longer required. The Bell Center at full capacity for Saturday's Habs game against the Seattle Kraken. 21,302 fans can be in attendance. Montrealers say they're excited but weary.
I definitely have some reservations about lifting, everything. I think it should be more gradual, but like I said, there's a lot of people who, were suffering during the pandemic, especially during the lockdowns, but even not being able to do some of the things they like to do.
I have some excitements, like I'm excited to be able to go out, to be able to play soccer, to be able to, I guess not wear my masks in certain settings, but for a large part, I think it's somewhat dangerous to certain people, especially lifting mask mandate.
I think it is reasonable to lift some of the capacity limits because there obviously is an economic tension to keeping things closed, and you have to counterbalance the medical and the economic aspects that drive society.
By mid-April, masks will no longer be mandatory, except on public transit until May. In hospitals and CHSLDs, masks will also still be required.
I'll still probably wear a mask for the most part.
There's almost zero downside to wearing a mask. The cost is minimal, the inconvenience is trivial, and it makes a huge difference.
Since Monday, masks are no longer required in workplaces as long as a physical barrier or distancing is adhered to, although still recommended for high-risk common areas. The measure was also lifted for elementary and high school students in class only for Montreal and other regions.
While things are improving, there is still a lot of COVID out there. The number of people in the hospital is still very high.
Public Health announced on Thursday Quebecers who have been in contact at home with someone who tests positive for the virus will no longer have to self-isolate. The City of Montreal reinstating the state of emergency on Friday to better deal with COVID-19.
I think you are getting a bit of a mixed messaging from the government. You're being told, vaccines are no longer mandatory, but please do it. Masks are no longer mandatory, but please wear them. And so that's going to be confusing for people because I worry that a lot of people, when they hear something is no longer mandatory, it means to them that they no longer have to do it.
In Montreal, Brittany Henriques, City News.